Hello everyone and welcome back to our course. In this lecture, we're going to learn how we can perform more operations on our data frame. All right, so let's get started, and we're going to create a new data frame with a new column that is going to show us a ratio. All right, so let's create that code cell, and I'm going to use dataframe.withColumn to create a new data frame. All right, and I am going to call this column let's do my open to volume ratio. All right, then I'm going to grab from my data frame the open column and divide it by the data frame at the volume column. And all right, then I can store the result of this as my new data frame. And after this, I can call new dataframe.show to show the results. And we'll run this code cell. And you can see here we have this extra column here called OV ratio. Maybe I'll call it open to volume ratio, just to be a bit more clear. All right, we can also just select one of the columns only. So to do that, we're going to grab new data frame, and we'll use the select function to select the specific column via its name, open volume ratio, and then we can show just that column. Here we go. And we're only showing the top rows by default. All right, so that is how we can see the open to volume ratio. So this is how we can create a new column and then perform some mathematical operation for that new column. All right, okay. Now that new column, it's only going to be inside of the new data frame. The initial data frame, df, that's not changed. So if I call dataframe.show, that is still going to be the original data frame without that extra column, because we created the new data frame, which is the original with an extra column. All right, let's continue. Let's now find which day had the highest price for the stock. So for that, I'm going to open up another code cell, and I'm going to grab my original data frame, and I'm going to use the order by function. I'm going to order the data frame at the column high in descending order with the function descending des, which means that the highest value will be on top. All right, so if I run this code cell, we'll just get this result, and we can add here .show to show the results. Here we go. So now, instead of being organized by date in ascending order, our data frame is being ordered now by a different column in descending order. So we can see here we have the highest value, 2,123, and then we just keep going down. We could also do ascending instead, just by removing that descending function. Now we have the opposite. We have the data frame being ordered by the same column, but this time in the opposite order. So this time we're seeing the lowest value. Next, we can, instead of showing all of the rows, we can actually just show one of the rows and also just one of the dates. So for that, I'm going to just grab the head 1. If I rerun this code cell, it's going to give me just that first row. Then from that first row, I can grab the 0th element, and from that, I'll grab the 0th element. So let's start with just one time, like this. There we go. And then one more time. And this is going to return for us just the date. So this is the date of the smallest stock price. All right, let's keep going. Next, we will learn how we can find the average of a column. All right, so let's pick a column. We can do the open column again. All right, so how do we find average? Well, we have to actually import from PySpark.sql.functions. We are going to import another function known as mean. This SQL functions module has many functions. You can look in the documentation if you're curious, including mean. So then we can use dataframe.select and call the mean function on the close or the open column, whichever one we want. And then if we add show, we'll see the value. So here we're getting the mean of a specific column by its name, and we pass in the data frame where we want to select that. Then if we run our cell, look at that. We get the average of the open column, which is about 1,113. Okay. Following that, another mathematical operation we can perform is we can get min and max. So for that, I'm going to add another code cell, and from PySpark.sql.functions, I'm going to import max and min. Then I'm going to grab my data frame and select the max of a certain one of these columns, such as, let's do, for example, close. Okay, I'm going to get the max of close, followed by the min of close. And then I'll add show to see my results. So I'm selecting my same data frame, and I'm selecting from it the maximum of the close column and the minimum of the close column. If I run this cell, look at that. I get this little table where I see the max and the min of the closing price of the stock. So those are all very important queries to learn how to do. There are many more queries and operations, of course, and you can look in the documentation to see them all. You can also practice more examples, because a lot of this is often asked at the programmer interview, so a lot of practice is definitely going to help you ace that. Coming up, we're going to learn how we can perform more queries, and specifically, we're going to look at just more data frame queries, now that we know some of the basic math ones. Awesome, so join me in the next lecture where we will work on that.